Heard a voice that told me I'm essential. How all my fears are limiting my potential. Said it's time to step into the light and use every bit of the power I have inside it. So what you waiting on? Who you waiting for? If you don't take a chance, you'll never know what's in store. Just do you. Somebody's got to be a star. Just do you. Somebody's got to raise the bar. Just do you. Somebody's got to change the game. Just do you. Every mountain needs someone to climb it. Every ocean needs someone to dive in. Every dream needs someone to wish it. Every adventure needs someone to live it. So what you waiting on? Who you waiting for? If you don't take a chance, you'll never know what's in store. Just do you. Somebody's got to be a star. Just do you. Somebody's got to raise the bar. Just do you. Somebody's got to change the game. Just do you. If you create the game, then you create the rules. And if you just be you, there's no way you can lose. Yeah, there's a story waiting for you to write it. There's a treasure waiting for you to find it. There's a picture waiting for you to paint it. There's a dollar waiting for you to make it. So what you waiting on? Who you waiting for? If you don't take a chance, you'll never know what's in store. Just do you. Somebody's got to be a star.
Come on in, guys.
Just do you. Somebody's got to raise the bar. Just do you. Somebody's got to change the game.
Come on, hit that share button. Let's get some ladies in here today. I have some questions, y'all. Come on, hit that share button. Hit that share button. This is gonna be good. Come on, hit that share button. I just want y'all to answer some questions for me. That's all. That's all I want.
And if you just be you, there's no way you can lose.
Come on, I just have some questions. That's all. I'm not gonna hold you long, I promise you. I just have some questions. How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Listen, I just have a couple of questions for y'all, and I need your comments, I need your feedback, I need your everything, you know? And I need you to communicate with me. Please communicate. But do me a favor, share this video with somebody. I think we'll get. Hey, listen. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and I promise you I will not hold you long. I just want to get some examples here. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we was talking about, you know, relationships and stuff like that. And he was like, man, I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. I don't even know what these people want. And I was like, what you mean? He said, I don't know what they want. And it kind of hit me for a minute there, because y'all forgive me because I am sharing at the same time. So I want to get the word out. This is funny to me, like really, really funny. And they was like, I don't know, you know, what they want, because there's so many different aspects to relationship that's going on now. So, and I'm like, you know, I don't know. Being in the church world, we kind of have our own type of dealing that we do we kind of have our own type of, um, thing we look for, things of that nature, and with the type of woman we look for, the type of man we look for women, the type of man you wait on, but the type of woman that men search for. And it is very, very, it's very interesting that in the church world that we have more problems in the area of relationships than probably anybody else. Um, and the reason why I'm saying that is because nobody really knows uh, what they say they do, but nobody really knows what they want. Nobody really knows what they're looking for. They know what they expect. You know what I'm saying? But expectations is not a want. Expectations is not a desire. Expectations is not, something that people look for to try to figure out, what's good for them and what's good for their life, and what's good for, their journey alone, right? So when I was like, well, if that's the case, you just ask them, ask them what they looking for. So I hit up a couple of friends of mine. I was like, what do women look for, when they are trying to, submit to a mate, or join with a life partner? Like, what do they entail? Like, what is the question of the day? Because people trying to figure out like what's really going on, and I'm trying to figure out as well, because I don't understand. I don't know what the people look for. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they ask for. And you just try to, at your best, uh, come and jail, right? So that's why I was like, let me ask the single ladies, and I want y'all to communicate with me today, because I want to know, like, what are some of the things that you look for when it comes to considering, joining with a life partner. Like, what do you look for? Brothers, I want to hear from you. Sisters, I want to hear from you. I'm not talking about same-sex relationship. I'm talking about the right way. So I'm trying to find yourself. Praise the Lord. God be the glory. Just quickly, like, just give me 15 minutes. I just want to know, what do you look for? What do you expect? What is your expectation? Like, what do you look for? Because most people trying to, LaShonda says loyalty and honesty. Like, so what is loyalty? Like, what do you consider to be loyal? What do you consider to say, this man is loyal to me and I can give him my heart. I can give him, my all, give him my future, loyalty and honesty. And how do you know that they're being honest about what they tell you? I'm just saying, because like, it's 2020. People tell you anything they want to know, what I'm saying, to, make it past first base. Of course, everybody gonna put their best foot forward. So that's why I'm asking, like, what matters when it comes, like, does he have to be saved, or does he have to be a Christian, or, are you willing to wait until he gets saved, if he gets saved, or do you consider that to be unequally yoked? Like, because my next couple of lives are going to be very, very intense when it comes to relationship, and it's going to be, very, very, very broad open. So I don't know if a lot of people are going to like that, but it's going to be what it's going to be. Kamari said trust and consistency in building a relationship is important. Which also brings the question, how long should you wait? How long should you look? Raynell says you don't know. You just have to watch and pray. That's a good, saved, sanctified answer. Yes, it is. Does he have to be saved, or do you feel like you catch him? You can lead a man to Christ. I'm asking. Like, what do you feel? Is the proper detail? I just want to know. I want to know, because most men, there's some good brothers that I know that are looking for wives, and there are some good sisters that I know that are waiting on husbands. Like, I have a friend of mine. Well, she's more, yeah, I'll wait on that. But they're looking. Men are looking for somebody who they can spend their life with. But the only problem is, it's almost like they feel like they're in comparison to what the last relationship was. And so, is it fair to hold that man accountable for what another brother did, or what another brother didn't do? You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with race or creed or nothing like that. It just has everything to do with principle. So the question is, do you hold that man accountable for, what your past relationship did not accomplish? Or is it the excuse to saying, well, I'm just working on me, so that man won't know that you're actually dealing with that still? I need y'all to talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Let me know what's up. You know, Kamari say he must be saved. You got to be saved. And the thing is, just because he is saved, don't mean he's gonna live saved. So like, so is there a monopoly to building a successful relationship? And then the thing is, do you kind of figure out what you want as you go? Because of course, everybody want a man with good money and a good job and good credit and stuff like that, but he's verbally abusive or he's emotionally abusive. So you get what you want, what I'm saying, but then the man that's still building his credit respects you and loves you and talks to you like a queen and still opens your door. You don't want him because you call him corny. So I'm trying to see, like, what do you want? People, inquiring minds want to know. Brothers, like, it's what do you look for? Like, what is the specialty that helps you make your decision, or are you still trying to figure out who you are? Do you actually know what you want? Do you actually know what you desire? Do you actually know what is becoming for your future? You know what I'm saying? Because, everybody can talk a good game on social media and everybody can make social media look like everything is wonderful. You know what I'm saying? But we don't see you crying yourself to sleep at night because there is a loneliness or there is a void that you really, really want to feel, but you don't trust nobody, or you don't feel like, anybody is worthy of you, or you've let some good men pass through or some good women pass through. So where is the meeting ground when it comes to understanding, the value of relationships, and that everything that glitters is not gold, but everything that's dull is not bad. There are some women that I know that chose men that didn't have all their stuff together, and they're living the lifestyle of their dreams today because they were able to work with that man and help build that dream and help, not polish him as a man, but help him meet his goals. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes we give up on brothers too fast because what they look like right now. You're looking at the now. You're not looking at what they're working on behind the scenes and what God has promised them. And I keep hearing people say, don't marry potential. But if you don't marry potential, you don't even know what to look for. Why? Because if you try to get a man that's already there, or get a woman that's already there and already got their stuff together, you don't know what part of what season of their life they're in. They could be getting ready to lose it all. Let's see. What she say? Raynell said, I had someone to ask me to marry him. He said God told him I was his wife. Then he chatted on me. She said chatted. Cheated. She meant cheated. Cheated on me. So, and that happens. I mean, sorrowful that it happens, but it happens. Because everybody feels like, if you're not enough for him, there's some intuitions that let you know when you're not enough. Or when there's something else going on. The patterns change. The focal points change. And it's crazy because you almost have to position yourself in a place where you don't know whether to move forward in a relationship or move forward or, do whatever. Why? Because you really don't know. What Kamaria said, she said, for myself, he has to love God more than me. I don't want to have to force him to stay seeking the Lord above all else. I need a leader. I desire a true worshiper. His drive for God means the most to me. So what if he has everything that you need on the spiritual side, but he doesn't have anything on the natural side? How do you cope with that? How do you balance that? How do you balance a man who's overly spiritual and who has the spiritual aspect of who loves God? He's a worshiper. He's a tither, but his personal life, his finances, his things like that are growing, or they're in he's in between blessings. Does that make him any less quality of a man? Or is that a rule to throw him out or to disqualify him from being with you because he's going through a financial change or financial, transition or whatever? So how do you work that? In verses, you got a man that got his money, he's paid. He's willing to show you his bank account and you can log in from your phone, and he has a thriving business, and and money is there, and he takes care of you. He wants to pay your bills, and he wants to do all the things that you feel like that make you bubbly on the inside, but he's not too sold on that church and spending time with God thing. But he takes care of you. You understand what I'm saying? But he honors God as far as it acknowledges that he does exist, but he's not pseudo spiritual like you. He don't go to church every Sunday, or he may say a few cuss words. Does that make him any less quality of a man, or does that disqualify him? I want to know. I got 2 minutes left. I got 2 minutes. I want to know, because so what do you consider to be the balance, or do you feel like, again, most of us, have been out of relationships for a while, so we don't understand that the dating scene has changed. You know what I'm saying? You got men that are taking care of their families, all with everything on their shoulders, and now you got women taking care of husbands. I don't know how that play out, but you got women taking care of husbands. And I do believe that the balance of the family should ride on the shoulders of the man. Now, again, if you decide to share expenses, that's according to what you want. That's according to, hey, Constance, how are you, sweetie? That's according to what you want. But at the end of the day, if he's at home and you're out working and you're bringing in the bread and butter, and you're taking care of the bulk of the house, the majority of the house, all of the bills are on you. Do you actually have a man? Or do you have a sex toy? Because that's about all he's bringing to the table. Is he your play toy? As your husband, y'all married. He don't have no job. You taking care of everything. Does that make him any less quality of a man? Now, most men will, crucify him. Most women will crucify him. But at the end of the day, you also have to look at the position of the woman herself. She said, ain't no man there. What did you say? Shanetta says it doesn't disqualify him, but at the same time, it depends on where you are in your walk with the Lord. Two saved people can still be equally young. I 100% agree. 150%. You can be saved speaking in tongues and you still be going in a different direction. You understand what I'm saying? I used to do that. I used to set my standards according to the ministry, or what I saw in the ministry and what I wanted in the ministry. And come to find out, that's almost the worst way to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to hear from you. Like, I want people to see these comments. I want you to comment. I'm going to read them, every last one of them. We got a few minutes left. According to old way, Chivalry, a best friend, easy to communicate. This is from Sabrina Gaines. Easy to communicate and everything that comes with that. Supporting one another's individual goals, ability to worship and pray together, weather all storms together, consistent, put forth effort, no abusive tendencies. If it even look like abuse, does that disqualify him? And I'm gonna deal with that in a second too. Or any anger issues, loyal to you, and unconditional love towards you. Listen, that's the truth. And there's something about that old way. A lot of women still do it the old way. But let me deal with this, abusive side, the abusive tendencies and the things that may show up. If he raises his voice at you in the heat of the moment, does that make him verbally or emotionally abusive? Or does it depend on what he says? Or is he, because keep in mind that every man was not raised by a man, right? And then there are some people, just like you find a lot of promiscuous women, who, make their living by, sleeping with other men just to get things accomplished in their personal life. There are some men who did not have an example. So all they know is, when they get angry, to lash out, right? Does that make him any less than a man, or does it depend on what he says to you? And if he makes that mistake and says something to you that's disrespectful, does that disqualify him? Or are you willing to sit down with him and find out what's going on? Come on, let's deal with it. Share this video. It's some good stuff now. I'm setting y'all up for the kill. So, I got something coming up real big. Setting y'all up for the kill. So, Raynell says, my ex-husband had to stop work and we ran into problems. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it happens because one thing, if a man is not able to take care of his family, there's an internal war that takes place when you have found a man who's not able to care for his family the way, if he was a caretaker, right? If he was that manly man that goes to work every day and makes sure he provides for his family and his children, and something happens to where he can't do that, there, not only does the pressure hit the marriage, the pressure hits the man altogether. And as a wife, or as even as a girlfriend, you have to know how to, you know, channel that energy, because that man can blow at any given time. Why? Because he feels like a failure. That's why they always tell you got to speak to the king in a man. You can't speak to that natural situation. You got to build him up as a king, because if you continue to build him up as a king, he'll continue to treat you like a queen, regardless of whatever the storms. Like Sabrina said, you got to weather all storms together. All right. Kamari says, depending on what he says and the tone he says, it matters to me. I'm softer, so yes, tone matters. Some women can't, you know, they don't like to be yelled at. They don't like their voice to be raised. Sabrina also says it depends on what he says and if it's a pattern. That's a good point, Sabrina. It's a good, really, really good point. If it's a pattern, that's enough right there. I'm willing to discuss it with him on the first time. You got one, and that's understandable, because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what triggered that. It could have been something that you know, triggered, that triggered from a past relationship. You understand? It could have been something that triggered from, you know, a fallout or something. You know, like I had an issue even when I was married. When we would have, you know, bouts and stuff like that, it wasn't a lot of them, but it was just, they were very intense when we did have them. Like, I'm not a person, I don't fight, you know what I'm saying? I don't fuss, I don't like all that. You know, I like my peace of mind. I'm a creative. So if you marry a creative, somebody who's in the ministry, or marry somebody, you know, who's a creative, a business owner, their ability to have peace of mind is the bread and butter for the house. So if you get them all caught up in a lot of contention and stuff like that, they stop creating, and that means things begin to fall apart, right? So, but I would always get called a failure. You know what I'm saying? And where that came from, I don't know, because I was pushing, you know, as much as I possibly could. But then too, when I, you know, started dating again, and I saw those tendencies and those words, you know, come up, you know, about failing and not being complete or whatever case may be, I would back up and I would lock up. I was like, hold on, I'm not going back through that again. Right. So now on the front end, if I even feel like I smell it to where there's going to be some level of demotion in my emotions, or demotions in how she treats me, or how she handles when she's angry, you know, or if I can't trust her with my vulnerable spots, I'm going to back up off the mat. And now I'm a person, when I back up, I don't come back. You know, I don't know how to come back, because once I see you in that light, it's kind of hard. You know, I'll try, and I've tried it with, you know, a couple of people. I've tried to come back and try to look at them different, but I don't see them, right? But then too, I also understand that the same grace that you want people to give you, you need to give them. Radell says, I've been in an abusive relationship, and what I learned from it, if a man raises his voice, he will keep doing it. If he raises his hand, he will continue. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. If he gets away with it one time and nothing happened, that happened to me. People didn't want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? But I was in a relationship where, you know, physical abuse was coming from the other side. You know, I was raised by, you know, my uncles and my aunts and mothers and stuff like that. So we just didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? A man don't hit a woman, you know, under no circumstances, whatever the case may be. I don't care how mad you get, how angry you get. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know where they get that from. What does Shanetta say? She said, if people would learn to be transparent during the dating process, you can learn quickly whether or not you are right for each other. Of course. Well, hold on. I have a counterattack to that. Take the mask off and be you from the beginning, so you're not developing feelings for the person you perceive them to be. That's good advice. The only problem is, ain't nobody gonna do that. Why? Because if I'm interested in somebody and I have motives, and if my motive is just to sleep with you, I'm going to say whatever it takes to get you to that point. It may take a month, it may take 2 months, but if that's the man's heart towards you, and that's what his goal is, to put you under his belt, you ain't finna see no other side. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you're going to see is the sweet side. You know what I'm saying? Because the key was this. If you don't have discernment, you can't expect them to uncover what they're trying to hide. Come on. You can't expect them to uncover what they're trying to hide. They're attempting to hide. All right? They're attempting to hide it. Why? They're hiding it for a reason. They're hiding it so that they can accomplish their goal. So you can't expect for somebody to take their mask off, and their intentional purpose for coming to you was to wear the mask. I don't want you to know that if you make me mad, I'm going to knock you side your head. I don't want you to know that if you say something wrong to me, I may cuss you out after I just finished speaking in tongues and prophesying. I don't want you to know that if you go through my phone, I'm going to yell at you and make you feel like the scum of the earth. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want you to know that if you cheat on me, I'm gonna put you all over Facebook or Instagram and post the messages and tell everybody in my circle and call people that are close to you and tell them what you did. Like, I don't want you to know that. So my purpose for coming into the relationship is to hide. My purpose coming in because I have a goal in mind. My goal is to see how far I can get with you easy. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Constance says dating with your clothes on helps with the man situation. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. So we got to understand we can't be so naive to the point to where we feel like that every man is going to, or every woman is going to uncover themselves. You know, I went through a situation not too long ago to where I understood very, very clear now that you literally have to take this stuff before God. Like, you literally, because I don't care how good it looks, how perfect it may feel, how, you know, anointed you may think they are, whatever the case may be, there are underlying issues that you have to dig at in the beginning. See, me, I ask the hard questions. I do. I ask the hard questions. What did Shanetta say? She said that's true, but a lot of times the red flags are there, but people overlook them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me tell you something, so people will understand what a red flag is. Like, this is the key. A red flag is when you have a feeling on something that's not settling after they've spoken on something, flag. If they text you and they made a mistake and say something that's the wrong person, flag, because that stuff is currently active in their life. So if they cut you off and they, you know, or raise their voice at you and they apologize, that's still a flag. That means that's in there. So you can't, like, I was the person, I looked over red flags because I see the good in people until all the flags became a spread and a quilt. You understand? It ain't no flag no more. It's a cloud. I almost broke myself. It's a cloud. So I understand. I'm telling the stuff up around here, but yeah. So it's a cloud now. So it's not nothing that they can really hide. You just hit that trigger spot and it's gonna show up. Yep. Shanetta said, I know that's why I ask a lot of hard questions. That's what I do. Raynell says I was dating this guy and I wouldn't sleep with him, and he got so mad he said I would be lonely, and I said good. Raynell, you taking me out today. Raynell, you had a lot of dating experience. My God, you need to write a book. Yeah, good for you. That was definitely a red flag. You understand? So, and that's what it is. You know, my head crooked. I'm sorry, but yeah. So the red flags tell you what you're getting ready to, you know, encounter. So if you feel like you can't trust them, 9 times out of 10, you probably can't. You probably can't. I don't know what else to tell you. But the key is this. If you find somebody that is honest with you from the beginning about their history, about their past, watch this. I'm going to mess y'all up. If you find somebody who tells you everything, that still doesn't mean they're the one. It still doesn't mean that they are the one. A lot of ladies and men are single because they're selfish. It's not because people don't want them. They're just so used to having their own space, and they don't want to open up that part of their heart, because one thing, and I know for sure, and this has nothing to do with African Americans or Caucasians or whatever, when you open up that portal of your heart and you begin to grow interest in someone, it's all things go. You know what I'm saying? People say what you want. Now, there are some people who hold their balance and they hold their morals, but there's some people you can't put in the position, you know, of a candlelight dinner, or you can't put in the position of, you know, a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? Or taking, you know, come into the house, you know, just to Netflix and chill. Yeah, Netflix and chill at night is going to turn into breakfast in the morning. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying to you. So everybody's not ready for that. So, and I encourage people to, you know, people are selfish, but you want to be loved, but you turn away every person. And I tell people all the time, this one of the easiest ways to find out if a man is a quality, genuine guy is to take him to another man that you trust. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than that. If you are trying to figure out if this man, you know, if this man is true to his word, or if he's honest, or if he's, if he's genuine, you got to take him to another man. You're not going to be able to see, because women don't know, they don't understand the way men think. Remember, I think, what was the name of the book Steve Harvey wrote? Act like a lady, think like a man. As good as the book sounds, you can't do it because you're not a man. And thinking like a man will allow you to almost flip the switch and you become what you're trying to run from. Yeah. You can't be wanting love and being selfish at the same time. You got to have some type of space to say, okay, God, I want this for my life and I know you want me to be happy. Teach me how to share my space. Why? If not, stop praying for a husband. Stop praying for a wife. Like, stop praying for something you're not willing to make room for. And stop going on all these dates with men that you know you ain't finna be with. Stop wasting these people's time. Why? Because whether you believe it or not, oh Lord, I'm finna get in trouble right here. Whether you believe it or not, some of the best men, some of the most genuine men were turned into dogs by church women. Oh Lord, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Wait a minute. I'm finna get in trouble. Some of the most genuine-hearted, honest men were turned into low-down, dirty hoes, dogs, cheaters, abusers by church women. Why? Because when a man searches out somebody, a woman in ministry, and searches out a woman who says she loves God and she's hitting in God, and the next thing you find out that she's sharing you with another man and you sharing her with another man and all these extra people behind the scenes, you now have affected his faith in the standard of dating somebody who is supposed to be whole. I am talking today and it's time for me to go. I am over my time. I don't even want to open up that door. I'm trying to tell you, we blame it a lot on the men, and we say, well, I can't find no good man, or all men are dogs, and all men are cheat. But they cheat. But you don't want to express the fact that when he does approach you, the first thing you hit him with is, what's your credit score? I wish you would ask me what's my credit score. I'm going to tell you none of your business. I'm not here to talk about credit. I'm here to talk about my future. Come on, let's talk, Andy Smith. Since we're here, we might as well let's go ahead and deal with it. Don't ask me about my credit score. Don't ask me, do I have a job? Don't ask me how much money I make. That ain't none of your business. I am a man. I am not a project. Woo, God. Come on here. Let's be real about it. Y'all put all these expectations up on the type of man that you want and what he needs to have, and he needs to be hidden in God. But then when a man comes that's hidden in God, he's corny, he's weak. Why? Because you still want to look thorough. You still want a man to be able to tell you to go sit your tail down somewhere and hush. And I understand that. I believe that women ought to have a real man. A man would tell you, I don't want to talk about that right now, and you're not going to make me. Go get a hug. Come on. Come on. That's all I'm trying to tell you. The key of the matter is this. If you want a good man, I didn't say a godly man, I said a good man. Good and godly are two different words. You can't expect God when you can't master good. Lord have mercy. Every woman needs, not wants, you need a real man to tell you when you're talking too much. I didn't say control your voice. I didn't say lose your identity. I'm saying keep the balance of a woman. There is something about a woman who knows how to bat her eye. There's something about a woman who knows how to cross her legs and who knows how to get her nails done and put her makeup on and don't go to bed all raggedy. A man is attracted to a real woman. You want a real man, so be a real woman. Woo! I wasn't talking about doing all this today. That's all I'm saying. We keep acting like the world is revolving around us. Now, I personally believe that the best thing next to life and macaroni and cheese is a woman. The best thing God ever made was a woman. There's just something about encountering a real woman who can say, baby, I'm thinking about you, or I want to help you through this dream, or did you finish your goals for the day, or how was your day? Oh, you finna get that man a whole paycheck. I promise. If you play your cards right and be a real woman, you will attract a real man. Woo, Shabbat. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, everybody puts the pressure on the man because we have the responsibility for provision. But the woman has the responsibility for progression. Oh, I just said something good. You as a woman are to expect provision from us. But us as men, we are to be able to expect progression from you. It's quiet in the Baptist church. It's quiet. It's quiet in the Baptist church. So all I'm saying to you is this: if you're going to have high expectations, make sure you are able to meet them yourself, because you're not going to attract what you want. You're going to attract who you are. If you are nasty, and if you are mean, and if you are bitter, you're going to attract an abusive man that may be clothed in glory, but I promise you, y'all going to have the same issues. And the first time you call yourself checking him and going off on him, he may go upside your head. Why? Because you attracted what you are on the inside. Nobody want to talk about that. We won't talk about that. We want God to send us, send us somebody who loves you. Okay, I'm going to send you somebody who loves you. I'm going to send you somebody who spends time with me. I'm going to send you a man who loves my heart, who's going to love you through me. But the problem is, when I send him to you, I got to take him back because you didn't bruise his spirit, because the only thing you can talk about is what your last boyfriend did, what your last husband did. I didn't send him to you to counsel you. I sent him to you to love you. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I went over my time. I wasn't trying to talk about all that. That's all I'm saying. Everybody wants to have expectations through the roof, but you give 10%. Your 10% is more than your breasts and your thighs and a tight dress. That don't mean nothing to a real man. Women are coming more beautiful and more sexier every day. You're meeting people that you never meet before. You got to bring something more to the table than some nice thighs. If I want thighs, I can go to Church's Chicken. If I want thighs, that man can get on the internet and look at a modeling show and look at thighs. What else are you bringing to the table? Can you cover him if he has an issue? Can you pray him through? All right. All right. Are we going to talk about it or what? We keep talking about what single women want. What about what a man needs? If that man is in full-time ministry, the last thing he needs from you after going to minister and to bring deliverance, God is using him, is for you to figure out who he talked to or who he was around or why it took you so long to call me. That man ain't got time for that. That man is under the anointing. So why would you put him in a position to have to question whether you are stable enough to handle his assignment? You got to have more. I'm telling you, you got to bring more than thighs and breasts. Come on now, I can get that from Southern Classic Chicken. You got to have more than that. What is your purpose? Or are you going to come back and try to lose yourself in his assignment? When you come into a relationship, you should already know, number one, the vision for your own life, instead of trying to get caught up in his and hang on his shirt tail. Now, I do believe, and I'm going to take a turn here, I do believe that there is a grace that falls on relationships when that woman knows how to make that man feel whole, make him feel like a king. Let me tell you one of the greatest things to do for a man. I'm gonna give y'all the secret. I'm going to give you the secret. And we miss this in the church world. That's why our divorce rate is so high. Yeah. That we miss it in the church world. That's why divorce rate is so high in the church. Because number one, you are never supposed to put the ministry before your family. I don't care who calls you. I don't care how anointed you are. I don't care what your purpose and assignment is. Your first assignment is your wife and your children, your husband and your children. I don't care who calls you. That's all I'm saying. This is what we miss in Christian relationships. What we miss in Christian relationships, we fail to appreciate our men. We lack appreciation. It is so simple. The word thank you, baby. The word thank you, honey. Baby, I really appreciate you. You know how much I love you? You didn't have to do that for me. When a man feels appreciated, it puts him in a position to want to do more, to want to be the man that you prayed for. Even if he has a couple of flaws, that man will turn to those flaws and take them to the altar and start fixing that, because he realized that his woman is praising him and she's honoring him and she's loving him even while he's imperfect. So what that's going to do, that's going to make him look within himself and say, hey man, you need to get this together because this woman really loves you. But you know what's happening? The women in the church are appreciating your man and telling him how amazing he is and how anointed he is. And when he come home to you, the only thing you can talk about is a bill and why you've been gone so long and let me see your phone. So whatever is leading, whatever is pure, whatever is of a good report, that's what that man is going to run to. He's going to run to peace. All right. He's running to peace. He's not running to confusion. He's a creator. He's a provider. He's a pusher. He's prophet, priest, and king. You can't make him feel like a jackbutt and then expect him to give his best to you just because you signed on a dotted line. He still has a heart. Did you forget that? He still has a heart. He still has a heart. So you have to understand it's bigger. I don't care how much sex you give him. I do not care. I don't care what you do in the bedroom, how he tells you how much he loves it, and can't nobody do it like you. If you make the mistake and lack appreciation, you will turn him off. No man wants to come home to a net. The Bible even says it. It is better for me to sit on the top of the roof to be inside a 5,000 square foot home, 2-story, 4-car garage with a nagging woman. That's all I'm saying. And we got to understand that. If you want the best for your relationship, if you want the best for your union, I promise you, there are some small things that men look for. Don't think you have it all just because you're a woman. No, you don't know how to work everything. Why? Because you're not a man. You need to know what matters to him. And it's not always the bedroom. It's not always you texting him or sending him pictures. Everybody can do that. What are you bringing to the table that if you don't do it, it won't happen? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Everybody want to be married and they wait for this dream wedding and stuff like that. And most men, let me tell you something about a man. A man, a real man, especially a godly man that has the heart of God, he wants to marry you. Oh, yes, he does. That man wants to take you down the aisle. You know what scares men? Instability in emotions. Emotional instability. That man wants to change your last name. If you're dating a man and he doesn't want to change your last name, I promise you're wasting your time. Yes, you are. I'm gonna tell you. Because any real man is not going to run from commitment if he knows he has a partner. A partner is different from a friend. A friend can change their mind and go another way. A partner is a committed relationship. You're my life partner. You have agreed to do this with me. So like she said earlier, we're going to weather every storm together. Baby, I don't care how hard it get. I have your back. I'm going to pray for you that God gives you the best decision for our family. He's going to give you what to do. I'm going to pray for you as you hear from God. That don't mean he has to be able to speak in tongues, but he needs to be able to have a stabilized prayer life to make wise decisions for the family. But many of you need to go and study Proverbs 31 because you think it's in the bedroom. The bedroom is only a benefit of a virtuous woman. It is not the law. Your bedroom is not the law of your relationship. The virtuous woman stands in Proverbs 31 where her husband and her children will rise and call her blessed, not because of how good she is in the bed, but everything she does that gets her to the bedroom. All right, y'all don't want to talk to me today. Y'all don't want to talk to me today. The bedroom is the icing on the cake. It is not meant to be used to maneuver and to deceptively direct that man. Go to Proverbs 31 and look at what happens when a woman makes her home a priority. All right. Let's look at what happens when a woman rises up early to get things ready for her home. You want a husband, but you sleep all day. You want a husband, but ain't no washing detergent in your laundry room. You bought a little $2 thing. You want a husband, but you don't know how to cook. Thank God I know how to cook, so I'll be able to have the conversation with whoever I decide to make the Mrs. Andy Smith. Hey, listen, babe, I know how to cook. I'm a great cook. My mom and my grandma taught me well. So I'm not going to put pressure on you in an area that you have not mastered. But it will behoove you to bring some things to the table. You may not have to cook 7 days a week, but I will expect you to do at least 2. Why? Because there are some things that happen in the kitchen that also lead you to the bedroom. I can't get, y'all won't talk to me today. Come on, single ladies. I'm that guy. You get in that kitchen and start cooking, I'm going to come slap you behind you and I'm going to help you cook, and then I'm going to turn the food off and pick you up and I'm going to go appreciate you for cooking. I can't get y'all to talk to me. Y'all don't want to be real today. Y'all don't want to be real. Y'all want y'all little church relationship. But there's a real world. There's a real consistency that has to be mastered in relationship. Come on. You don't have to know how to cook everything. You don't have to know how to cook everything. But if you try, if you attempt to please me, and I already know that you're not the best cook, even if I don't like it, you'll never know it, but there's going to be a certain grace of reward that I'm going to want to say thank you for at least trying to honor what we committed ourselves to. So come on, come here. I got something for you. Praise the Lord. Where you want to go shopping at? You tried. Why? Because you didn't have to do it. I told you I couldn't cook when you first started dating me, so don't expect me to cook nothing. You finna stay single. Sure will. I promise you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The Bible declares that marriage is honorable and the bed is undefiled. When you have a real man, that real man will turn anything into intimacy. Anything that has to do with positivity in the marriage will turn into intimacy. I just said something real good, and y'all ain't saying amen. So if you got a man that don't want to spend no time with you, and the only thing he can do is just respond to your text, and he don't want to hear the sound of your voice, I promise you he talking to somebody else. Say what you want. I'm going to tell you the truth. Because if I'm dating you and I'm intrigued by you, one of the second best thing from prayer and living holy is hearing the sound of your voice. I want to hear you call my name on the phone. I want to hear you ask me how my day was, so I can put you some shoes in the mail. You understand what? That's all I'm saying. We're not supposed. There's no way possible that the world, their marriages and their relationships are supposed to look better than those in the kingdom. Everything about the kingdom of God, everything about God Himself is love. So the strongest form of love and the strongest form of example of love should be from those that are in the Christian faith. That's all I'm saying. But y'all out here trying to rip these men off and get y'all bills paid and get some new hair and get some new eyelashes. I've been through that and done all that. I was providing hair. I was providing shoes. I was providing everything in the world. The only thing that we did not have heart. Understand? Why? Because you can't buy a heart. You got to grow one. You can't buy love. You got to grow it. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't care how much he pays for what bills, what kind of restaurants you go to. If there is not a commonality or a determining factor of that we're going to pick this place and grow from this place, there's nothing else nobody can tell you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Y'all done kept me over my time. I was supposed to be 30 minutes. That's all I was going to do. I don't know why y'all still on here. So I'm telling you, when it comes to relationships, you have to make sure that you are ready to share what is most precious to you. And the first thing is your space. The second thing is your time. The third thing, you got to be willing to share your heart. And if you're not willing to give your heart to a man, like I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, but I do believe when it's intentional, when you find an intentional mate, that man is going to make sure that your tears are not consistent unless they are tears of joy. That's all I'm saying. You got to spend time growing that relationship. You got to spend time learning what matters to him, learning what matters to her. You got to spend that quality time. There's only so much texting you can do. Texting is now becoming the leading voice of relationship, and I'm breaking myself from it. We're not going to text about nothing important. Pick up that phone and call me, or I'll call you. If we got to text it, I'm not going to talk about it because it's impersonal. I don't even let women have me too long in their inbox. Like, we talk 2 or 3 days in the inbox. Okay, it's time to exchange numbers now. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to stay on the other side of Facebook and say we're discussing a relationship. If you're not comfortable giving me your number, we're not comfortable having a conversation. I'm not going to do it. Why? Because you got to teach people how to treat you. And one thing that most men fail to realize, even though that the gift of God is the woman to us, that don't mean we're desperate. Yeah, a real woman wants to hear the sound of a man's voice. A real woman wants to hear the sound of a man's voice. A real woman wants to hear the sound of a man's voice. She get all shaky, start moving stuff. When she see his name pop up on the phone, she try to make sure she fixing her hair and he can't even see it. Why? Because a real woman wants to hear the sound of a man's voice. She wants to hear, hey babe, how you doing? Oh, she just slide all down a pillow. Why? That's a natural emotion. And if you don't want to hear the sound of a man's voice, I'm going to question what's going on with your lifestyle. Yeah, I'm going to question that. I'm going to question if you don't want a man to call you and call your name and give you them first couple of hours of uninterrupted conversation. I'm going to question your lifestyle. Because a real woman wants to hear the sound of a man's voice. And when a man has worked all day and he's ran his business and it's 6 o'clock and it's quitting time and he get in the car, especially after he checked on his mother and whatever the case may be, the next thing a man wants to hear is the sound of a woman's voice. Hey babe, hey boo, hey Rodney, hey John, I'm just thinking about you. You had a good day at work? A man wants to hear that. Okay, all right. So y'all playing game. Y'all self-absorbed and can't nobody please you but you. Stay single. I'm not saying everybody's called to be married. Paul said if you don't plan on being married, that your desire should be to the Lord. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can be whatever you want to be. But for those of us that are waiting patiently for a godly man, waiting to be found, you have to make sure that you're ready to share your time, your space, and your heart, because it's going to take investment. And you got to understand, when you're dealing with a man who works and you're dealing with a man that's a CEO or who owns his own business, he cannot spend 9 hours on the phone because you don't work. He can't spend 9 hours on the phone. He'll go broke. Yeah. Women don't want boyfriend. Oh, that's my boyfriend. Okay. For how long? Y'all been dating for 5 years? Something wrong here. Y'all been dating for 12 years? Something is wrong. Because a real man wants to change your last name. The last thing you have to make sure that you get when you decide that you're ready for a relationship, and I urge you to do this with somebody that's not in your circle. Hear me clearly. Do it with somebody that's not in your intermediate circle. You need to get counsel. You need to get counsel. I don't care how anointed you are, because a lot of times we are the problem and we can't see ourselves because we have so many expectations. We're ready for that man to please everything that we need to make us whole, when we don't understand that that man needs you just as much as you need him. But you can't see that because you're only worried about yourself. So get some counseling. Be prepared to share your heart, your time, and your space. But once you make the decision that you feel like he's the one, take him to someone who can look out for the best for both parties. That is my sermon for today. Thank you for joining on. We will see you Monday night with real talk relationship.